Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's in some places it might actually be tomorrow, the next day. I'm not sure. I don't know. My friends in Australia and New Zealand. Hi. Hi. Hello, people out there who are Jets fans who are not in Canada. How are you? I I found out about flow ice hockey and a few other things. So right, I'm working on it. It is. I'm Dr. Lueth. It is 9:14 a.m. Eastern Time, New York, USA, and it is November 22nd, 2025. It is not a game day for the Winnipeg Jets. The next game is let's see, tomorrow against the Minnesota Wild. So hopefully you guys kind of went over some stuff and are very soon going to just move forward and take a look at the Minnesota Wild. Don't be looking at the team after the Minnesota Wild. Okay, it's not a good habit to have. I mean, as a fan, sometimes we do that, but as let's just look at it. Like I'm addressing the way players should be thinking, pros and people who, right? Uh, I'm a behaviorist, okay, and I do have multiple college degrees. I have a lot of experience, and the way a lot of athletes think are kind of similar. So I know about that, but I know that it's not the best way to go about looking at 82 games. The minute you start looking through another team and aiming at a team that you're going to play later on down the road, one game, two games, right? You're then you got your head out of the game you're about where you play, but you want your head in that game, and you want to be fully present as best as you can in professional human terms. I totally get they're human beings, and I mention this a lot because they are. Okay, they're not widgets, they're not robots, they're not like the numbers and stats don't dictate a lot. You understand, right? So numbers and stats are one thing, and I understand why they're there. Some of them, I'm like, that doesn't even represent what's going on. You're right. I maybe it's just how some people need to see the game, but it's not really. Some of them don't really accurately um, describe in numerical terms the reality of the National Hockey League day in and day out. So, I spend less time talking about those things. And I never really look at goalie stats. I mean, I'll see them if they're put up, but I don't ever. In the long run, they don't really matter. All right, they really don't. But as people may or may not know, Connor Hellebuck, the starting goalie for the Jets, is out. Um, Surgery, minor surgery, taking care of something, and like I said, it's better to do it now because certainly don't want a knee problem to get worse. Not for any player, but particularly a goalie. They rely on their knees and hips and all kinds of stuff. So, yes, they can also get tendonitis in their elbows. Right, that is like your whole entire body is involved in that. There's no part of the human body that isn't involved in National Hockey League level goaltending. So, um, that's why development does take longer. No exceptions. Okay, than every other position, player position in the National Hockey League. They go on ice. Okay, uh, I mean, that's why I mentioned, just to get off the Winnipeg Jets game last night, just real quick. That's why I mentioned Robin Leonard. It's like, fellas, you know, it, if you pay me and hire me and give me some resources, I can help you not make those fucking mistakes. Okay, like, I don't give a shit. I don't have a penis. All right, I'm tired of looking at this crap, and it's avoidable. And you guys should share information sometimes. And right, okay, I don't care anymore. I mean, people tell me get a job, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm disabled. I have some things I right, and also I can't afford it because I don't have family. And well, I mean, you guys should be more grateful, everybody on planet fucking Earth, and just be glad you're not me and don't have to live that I live. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Is like I knew the second I heard with a guy like Sarah or not, who was it? I know. I call him the Blizzard Havas. Blizzard. Yes. Brizgalov. I knew the second I heard 10 years coming out of the Flyers back a ways. I'm like, oh, this is not going to end well. You guys don't understand Brizgalov. And then you put him on camera and, right, yeah, I know. It didn't. I knew the second I heard it. Boy. I do not foresee that one. That's just too much time. Too much. Especially for a goalie like Brizgalov. Okay? A part of the reason that Robin Leonard had the struggles is because it was way too soon to be putting a developing goalie up on NHL blue paint and then asking them to perform like goalies who are like 25, 26. Goalie development, just point blank, still to this very day in certain areas of the National Hockey League and franchises and everywhere on the planet, still needs, you guys still need help understanding and seeing it. That's exactly why with Robin Leonard. There's just, you don't ever, never, ever put someone at that stage of development on NHL blue paint and then expect those things and then move them all around. They can't get their rhythm. They can't understand. It's just like, I don't care who anybody is. Okay? I don't care how long you've been working with goalies. I don't care if you're a head coach in the National Hockey League. I don't care who you are and how much you get paid. I don't care if you have a penis. I don't care what your, Generation Hockey last fucking name is. Many of you know I'm correct. And I'm not going to shut up. And I'm not going to go away. Okay? Handling goalies in the National Hockey League should never, ever look like what the other two positions on ice. Three, but offense and defense, I'm saying. I don't care who you are. Zip your lips. I don't care how long you've been doing whatever you do in the National Hockey League. I don't even care if you are a goalie in the National. I know what I am talking about. Okay? Also, sometimes the air quote smaller goalies. Okay, a goalie who's like 6'12" have disadvantages. And if I were working for a franchise and I'm looking at goalies and assessing and looking at goalies patterns, I guarantee you there are some areas that taller goalies, right, they leave holes that goalies like 6 foot, 5'11", don't leave. There are distinct advantages to having, because sometimes they're just quicker. They're right. As long as their head, okay, when they stand up tall, is above the goal line. Vesna winning goalies walking around who've been in the National Hockey League who were 6 foot and under. That hasn't changed. It hasn't. So your franchises, if you're just going off that, just point blank, we don't even want to look at this one because he's under. I'm like, well, then you guys are doing yourself a disservice and you should be fired by your franchise. Okay. So I'm going to get back to the Jets. I think what was discussed, and I'm trying to, I think it was Winnipeg Sports Talk, a 2 hour show. For me, it's like 2 p.m. So I think it's like 1 p.m. for them. There's a fan who speaks regularly. Phyllis, the sports fan. Yeah, I know. I don't know these usernames are, yeah, well, wherever the hell YouTube's going. And like she understands kind of, and she agrees, and she understands what I understand when it comes to Jonathan Toews. Yeah, JT Taser. All right. Some people, what you need to understand is that needed to have his hockey that was developed through the Blackhawks for years and years and years undone first. Everything from to role to system to whether or not he's doing this, that, the other thing, his speed, he has to then, okay, then he needs to build still to Jets, needs to the team, to the franchise, to the vision. Okay, like Phyllis and I were talking about, and I mean, it's good to know that someone else understood. Right? That's not an excuse. That's actual real life NHL truth. Okay, he was developed through the Blackhawks the whole time. Certain mentality, certain kind of coaching, all those things needed to be undone first before he could really start. Okay, so some of that might still be happening. Okay, truth. Whether anybody wants to hear it or not, and if anybody wants to argue or debate, that's okay. But it's just truth and fact in the National Hockey League. So, Taser is definitely, he's got a different role than he did with the Hawks. And he's, I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say that. And I'll get back to that in a second. But when it comes to the highlights, I'm going to quickly jump on here and for the full highlights from last night's game. Okay, we'll do this. I have slightly slower resources, right? So I'm not as speedy as some others. Okay, highlights. from last night's games. And it says where they come from, right? I'm not taking any credit for them. You'll know where they come from. Highlights from last night's games. Last night's game. Because I also was paying attention to a few other games, Buffalo. Yeah, I gotta put it. Do that. Yeah, online there. I gotta put an apostrophe. Right. There we go. So if you didn't see the game, and you look at the highlights, okay, I listened to the post game, and the thing that wasn't talked about a lot from the team franchise was the first goal in the first period within 16 seconds of the beginning of the game. Coming a little more like I'm natural born goalie. Any sport that I play ended up being a goalie kind of position. I still have that sort of goalie mentality. It doesn't really go away. Yeah, I don't like holes in anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't like holes in my cheese. I don't like holes in stories. I don't like legal loopholes. I don't. Yeah, I just don't like holes. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. I'm one of those weird goats. Just you'll get used to it. But what I'm saying is maybe it's because I'm looking at it from a goalie perspective, and understanding comms, like that probably didn't help his confidence very much. And I'm sending like, oh, good, happy goalie vibes, confidence. You got this, like, all right, just after that go, I'm like, okay, comes recover, reset. You gotta keep going, man. You gotta keep going. That one, to me, of course, when your team gets scored on, gets a shorthanded goal when you're on the power play, like every National Hockey League people who know certain things about the game, like, okay, fellas, right, let's not make a habit of that. I mean, if you can't, like, if they can't score on the power play, but they at least have the puck, and they at least, what I'm trying to say, aren't giving it to the other team on a power play. I mean, at least it may not be like they may not be able to capitalize and score a goal, but at the very least, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, you should expect, a team is expected, okay, to not get scored on shorthanded. Like, you're expected to have possession of the puck for the majority of a power play. All right, so obviously, power play goal, shorthanded goal was talked about, and so on and so forth. But to me, the first goal, it if you look at the highlights, it just looked like Stahl barely had to exert effort. And we do actually need to tighten up defensive responsibility. And right, from a goalie perspective, when you're put in that position, and that can kind of start a goalie off on the wrong foot, right? Hopefully that didn't happen, but it's not uncommon. Yes, the first goal was the one. And here, I'm going to say this. There were good things that happened, but if that first goal had not been scored, we probably would have beaten the Canes. So I know that post game it wasn't talked about a lot, but I'm going to be the one to talk about it. And I'm going to say, had that goal not been scored, I'm pretty sure that the Jets would have beaten the Canes. That's why that goal bothers me so much. Your goalie has to trust you too. Okay? That's a two-way street. People talk about it all the time. You gotta trust your goalie. I mean, the team needs to trust the goalie. Team. I'm like, yeah, but the goalie needs to trust the team too. And in the situation, knowing full well that Combs is now under the realistic expectation that he's gonna have to play a lot of games, and he's gonna have to hold down the fort, and he's gonna have to get an NHL net, and that's a shitload of responsibility. It's like kind of doing it without your, wingman, because obviously, if having if Connor needed to come in for cleanup, or if Connor needed to, just get him out of there, because like Hellbuck's not there to do that, and it shouldn't be expected of backup Milic. No way. So, I'm just things that people should consider. Yes, that could really, if things like that keep happening, you want to maintain your trust with your goalie, and it's precarious and it's difficult, and I'm sure he may look calm, but there's things still, you know what I'm saying, like any goalie would be a little, nervous and a little tight and a little, you understand, you know like they're saying, oh, okay, we know, it's we're not playing in front of Helly, we're playing in front of Comms. I'm like, yeah, you were playing in front of Comms. Comms isn't Helly. That first goal is the wrong way to start. And if that goal had not happened, I think the Jets would have beaten the Canes. Even with the shorty in the goal and some other things. I am like, well, maybe Pion should have just walked him. Yeah, popped one in Nikolai Ehlers' face. No. Just kidding. Okay. Just from a goalie perspective, I'm telling you straight out, that is a little iffy. You need your goalie to trust you guys too. And so defensive responsibility, it's not just the defenseman, it's defensive responsibility. The whole freaking team in front of him. He needs to trust them too. You understand? So I really do honestly think that the goal that actually for real tanked him is the one that wasn't really talked about, and that was the first goal, Jordan. Otherwise, there were good things. I'm not saying there weren't. It's okay to stay positive, but I just need to say it because you know what I'm saying? That's how I see it, and I understand the position of goaltending, and the way I saw that goal, it's almost like, oh, it's Khan's, right, it's like a shootout. It was almost like a freaking shootout. Like, yeah, Stahl made all the Jets on ice irrelevant. It might as well have been a one-on-one breakaway or a shootout. Stahl versus Combs. Right? No, I'm not being over dramatic. I'm not talking out my ass. I'm not making stuff up. I'm not trying to drag anybody down, but I am saying, may the skaters understand, yes, that they need to be a factor every single time anybody gets near the net with the puck. Sometimes there's breakaways. Okay, but that was not the flick. You understand? If you really look at it, if you really look at that goal, I mean, the rest of the Jets may as well just not even have been on ice. Okay? So I honestly think it was the first goal that set the tone. And even though they were able to come back, they did, right? And even though then we get a shorty, and then right. This is something that I absolutely need to discuss because it hadn't been something that was discussed on the post. And I checked in with Winnipeg Sports Star. I checked in with Kenny and Rennie. Listened to the post game. I listened to at least the radio guys. Geez, I'm saying I'm getting Paul and yeah Mitchell, and it just was not something that was discussed, and it needs to be from a goalie perspective. Combs needs to trust you. Combs needs to trust that the players in front of him are going to be a factor, and that stall goal just made every single one of those dudes on ice look like a non-factor. Just look at it again, because I honestly think that had that goal not gone in, the Jets would have beaten the Kings. So that's my take on it. I'm definitely going to say that out loud. It wasn't discussed, but I am discussing it. And I'm also going to say with Jonathan Toews, listen, it really is the case that he needed to spend some time unlearning and undoing some of that old Blackhawks thinking, all that Blackhawks role, all that Blackhawk development. It could even be muscle memory. I don't even know, but that takes a little while. And Phyllis talked about it, and I'm talking about it in more depth because that is the case. And you know, maybe messing with lines or looking may not be because of it. It might just be to try and give the other team something to adjust to, and so on and so forth. I think we should just give Taser the benefit of the doubt for that reason alone. Okay, we have not seen the best of Taser yet, and it's for that reason. A lot of that stuff just needs to be undone and take a little while before he can really start building momentum within the organization and in certain structure and with the guys around. So, yeah, Mr. Shen, right? I definitely am not ragging on anybody as a person. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying, well, some of these guys have more time than they think. Okay, so maybe practicing full pressure stuff on and off the ice, right? So you don't react as quickly, and yeah, because it just sometimes, and it happens a lot in ice hockey, but there's kind of ways to kind of brain train it out. Okay, but you can do that on and off. Yeah, there's a certain pressure. It may seem like there's pressure, but it's not as much as you might think. So, spending time being just tiny bit more patient with the puck. Like you have more time. Also, just everybody go watch Yonder for a little while and understand patient puck protecting, because Yager's play would still fit in today's NHL that way. And patience with the puck. Yeah, go watch Malkin. Okay, you'll start to pick up on it, right? And newer guys and younger guys, that's something they gotta work on. It's it's just they feel the pressure. But a lot of times is they actually have a little more time than they think. So it's something that, the guys, including Combs and Milic, okay? My expectation for Eric Comrie and Thomas Milic is this. As long as they are staying on blue paint for the majority of the game because they are on a team, okay? Right. The Jets are going to have to adjust a little. Right. So some goalies that are, well practiced like Helly and others, might go touch the puck, decide whether I might go behind the net a little bit to go get the puck, might go, like 3 feet out to, stop the puck and pass it to a defenseman, whatever. If that does not happen, it's not as though Combs and Milic are doing their job wrong. Quite literally cannot go wrong if you stay on blue paint. Being a goalie hero is staying on your blue paint. So the team will have to maybe do a little extra skating or read the puck differently or, maneuver and go chasing the puck or whatever. Okay? For an NHL goalie, the way to be a hero is to just stick to your blue paint. Okay, some guys after years and years and years know they can venture out here and there, but wandering goalies who wander. This is what I've said this. Like when it comes to skaters and when it comes to NHL, if a goalie wants to go all the way over to the boards to go play a puck, okay, as far as I'm concerned, the players should be allowed to hit them, check them. They should be allowed. Like once you're out doing certain things beyond a certain point in your crease, you they should be treated like a player. You bang right into them. But that ought to discourage some of them from doing it. That's never good eyesight. Okay, so I'm just saying, hey, Combs and Milic can be hockey heroes, Winnipeg Jets style, by just staying on their blue paint. And that's what the rest of the skaters on their team, because they are on a team, should know. Don't expect them to play the puck. I mean, if they're not sure, even the slightest bit of hesitation, and they're not sure how fast if they don't do something that another goalie would, oh well. Okay? We don't need, like, doing other things sometimes does not make you a hero, goalies. The way to be a hero as a goalie is just to stick to your blue paints. So, yeah, it's the first goal that I think might set this off on the wrong foot. And I know that they actually could beat the Canes. Okay, so now I understand that. Obviously, we need points, but here's the thing. Also, everybody, listen to me. I've been watching and paying attention to Isaac for play every season, everywhere, like a nerd, looking at this team, looking at that team, blah 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 blah. Let go of, oh my God, we lost our playoff spot. I've said this. There are teams who don't have a playoff spot being in, and suddenly in January they do. There are teams who, vacillate. Like, okay, well, depending on how well this team is doing and how well we're doing, right? I mean, it's that's tenuous at best. Don't let that stress in. Right now, it really doesn't matter. And I don't even know where this American Thanksgiving stuff went. I mean, in November, like for me, mid-December, and it's also an Olympic year, so that does actually change certain things. And quite frankly, here, I'm going to say this. Okay, if Hellebuck needs as much time as he needs to completely heal and be completely good and at 100%, and it just so happens that he's just can't play in the Olympics, I'm sure he'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? There's other U.S. goalies who can step up. Okay, because it is about National Hockey League, not the Olympics. It's one of the reasons I really don't like or want or think that it's a good idea for NHL pros to play. And I made a post about this exactly why. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is disruptive to National Hockey League, the entirety of the league, every 4 years. And it's not as important as the Winnipeg Jets are. So, I mean, the goal is, must be ready for that too. But if it comes right down to it, if the franchise is giving everyone as much time as they need to be 100% good to go, ready, confident, yada blada, and also that reduces the risk of second injury. It's very important. And I know there's there's a team. I know what is a Panthers. I'm like, Maurice. Hey, Maurice. Don't, okay, your team should not be allowed to touch sharp objects, cook in the kitchen, work a grill, right? You know what I'm saying? They need babysitters everywhere. Weird injuries happen off ice at home. Yeah, it's the way it is. This is real life, people. So, I mean, still very positive, good things. And I'm staying positive, and I really wasn't trying to look at anything, but that one was just for me, something like me, the way I know the game, the way I see the game, and goalie perspective and other kinds of perspectives. And now I understand the franchise really, really well because I've been spending a lot of time, quietly just learning and listening. The goalie needs to trust the team too. And if you really look at it with a discerning eye, Mr. Stahl on that first goal, which came in 16 seconds after opening faceoff, it it looked as though the Winnipeg Jets were just a non-factor. I mean, it was really like you could remove them from the ice. It's almost as though they weren't there. That's difficult. And a goalie put in that position needs that kind of support, needs that, okay. If that goal hadn't happened, I'm 100% sure, even with a few giveaways and a shorthanded goal against, the Jets would have won. Just something to consider. Okay. But yes, this is something. Taser, definitely someone that needs to be undone. Actually, really start to build Jet style. Just bear these things in mind. Keep these things in mind. Okay. All right. So I appreciate everyone. I am learning, and I might say names wrong here and there. It's okay. And if you get on here or if you see this on Mike's account, and I said something and needs to be corrected, I'm okay with it, right? I'm still learning. I have a lot on my mind when it comes to the fact that I have some serious health issues. So I sometimes, right? Sometimes I'll say, yeah, like I might say shyly, I meant like, yeah, I meant, oh, okay. So it's okay. And it's okay to jump on and chat. Like, I like to talk about it. Except we don't need to agree. I just say what I'm going to say. But I'm letting some people know why. Like, I'm not coming out of nowhere. I'm not looking at this to try and, dog the team. I'm not thinking that, we're not going to the playoffs. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying in this situation, given everything that I know about goalies in the National Hockey League and the right the Moose. So I've also been trying to track the Moose and get used to the Moose. So right. So yeah, someone did send me an X to say why didn't they put the other one? They have been Divvy. Well, I don't know. I mean, it could be because maybe he didn't want it. Maybe it was just his opportunity to really take hold for a little while of the Moose goal. You know what I'm saying? And so that gives him an opportunity. So, maybe Leach just was a little more ready, or they just needed somebody more complimentary to the way Comms is. So I'm not sure, but it might be for the best. I mean, we'll see. I know that people are, mentioning Hutchinson, and we're definitely don't need to trade for another goalie. That's just and when it comes to Lambeau, I mean, I think this has been discussed enough, but I'm just going to repeat and say I agree with a lot of people. And what I said my last one having to do with ice hockey is like there's no cap space. What I actually meant was I doubt there's an even trade out there because he wants NHL time and he wants NHL money, and that's just unrealistic. And I'm sure he's learning, and people might be explaining that it's like well, you're young. I mean, you still got time, man. And you know, there's other guys who just have more time in on the job training. They're guys who are a little more consistent, and an even trade. All things considered, I, I don't think any team is going to win it. Unless for some reason they have someone in that position go out for injury, likely. I mean, it's the only way I could see that even being close to possible. I mean, more power to him. I get it. Oh, I said yeah, Stanley. No, it wasn't. It wasn't last year. Yeah, Morgan Stanley. I That's a different situation. Okay, when he asked for a trade, that's a different situation. And yeah, it's still something got worked out. I mean, clearly, right? So, um, I mean, I appreciate Lambeau, but it's just, well, you're just not quite there yet, dude. And it's just, and lately, I mean, getting the fly, I think he should maybe stick it out another year. It helps with development. It also, keeps your head covered a little more being in the AHL. Okay, learn to build to those, full one-way contract, NHL time, money, and all the other kinds. So I don't know. Just go, okay? Anytime someone wants to jump in chat, please do. I am time limited today, so that's all I'm going to say. But I appreciate Kenny and Rennie, and I appreciate Sarah and Jamie, and I appreciate the guys from Illegal Curve and the fellow from Jets. I think it's Jets in, and then there's Jets Hub, and there's a few others. So I'm trying to interact. And I do know I try to keep track of things, and like I said, I if I accidentally say something because I didn't know, so might feel like fake. I don't know. But these days, and it could be AI. That's stuff, right? Okay, fake news and stuff like that. So I don't mind that kind of stuff. And I don't mind other perspectives. I like any kind of perspective, but I'm gonna be vocal and speak up about stuff. And I'm being honest. I think that if that first goal had been prevented, I think that the Jets would have won. So it's something to think about. Okay. So appreciate everybody. I wish you all good health and joys, and you know, and like, okay, now I know healers. It was nice to see. Yeah, they have a good sense of humor about this kind of stuff. Like, I know, like, but this is how I am as a hockey fan. I'm like, yeah, like, oh well, yeah, like breeze by him, fellas. Okay, but still did make the entire group of skaters on ice look like a non-factor. That's not really the best way to start off with your, new temporary starting goalie. Okay, give Taser the benefit of the doubt. I know for sure, 100%, that nobody in the Winnipeg Jets organization was even looking for 2015 Jonathan Toews, because they don't need 2015 Jonathan Toews. So, okay, let's all try and learn a little more and be more open. Well, I mean, it's okay we get into some debates. It's okay if we're like, well, I don't know. We can be stubborn even if we need to. But when it comes to the position of goaltending, for sure, at 100%, yeah, I will be more than willing, no matter what kind of health crappy day I'm having. I mean, straight from my bed. If I get internet when I'm in a hospital, like exactly, I could be like almost half unconscious, and I still would find a way. Okay, I really, really, really mean it. The entirety of the National Hockey League needs to understand that position better. And I know the guys talk about it. Okay, we see there's uh a Panger, and right, look, Panger's a shorty goalie, and look at Panger. He got in undrafted. Okay, the game has changed. Also, everybody kind of just but let go right now. Everybody let go of that. Don't worry about the playoff spot. Let it go, man. Okay, let it go. I think that there are a few teams who are doing really well right now, and they're really young, but they're gonna get tired, and they're gonna find out they can't expend that kind of energy game in and game out. Okay, I've been tracking the National Hockey League for years and years and years and years. I pay attention to as many teams as I can. I listen to as many perspectives as I can, and I know that some of these teams doing really well, like Colorado. The energy that they're spending this early in the season, yeah, and they start getting tired, and they start getting injuries, and they start, facing teams that are building up, and yeah, all right. I think they're gonna start slowing down, and they're gonna have like it's gonna be a more, yeah, it's like closer to earth, realistic situation for some of these teams, and some of the teams that aren't even in playoff spots might be. climbing that mountain slowly but surely. Okay? So, anyway, all right. Take care, everybody. It's okay if you make weird memes of me. You guys can use any of this you want for free. Just please don't change my meaning. And my name is Dr. Lueth. I earned that doctor thing. I'm not a medical doctor. I feel basic stuff, but I'm not a medical doctor. But I am a behaviorist and I am a trainer, and I was involved with training people who use weapons and firearms in the United States government. So, you know, ice hockey is a bit, less on the night. So I think I can handle the ice hockey. There are some people who should not be paid. And I don't care who makes that statement. A lot of times these guys stay quieter because they know what I'm saying is true and factual. Yes, thank you, everybody. I appreciate follows. I appreciate conversation. It's okay to gently correct me. It's okay to put stuff in chat. It's okay, right? You want to start a conversation, that's fine. I can't say I can always, keep the conversation going back and forth. I do have, yes, I'm disabled, for crying out loud. I mean, let's go easy, though. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, hey, go Canada. I know I'm a cheer. I am like Canada. I'm a Jays fan around Baltimore, Orioles territory, and the Phillies. Right? I'm constantly surrounded by the enemy. Right. Then I got all the NFL people, the ones that they got to argue about the Ravens, and they're still sore about the Colts over there. And then you get they're the Commanders, not the okay. Right? And these guys, the Eagles, like over here, and then baseball. I'm like, yeah, I'm just a full on sports trader down here in the state of Maryland, Canada. Like, I constantly. That's why. It's like I don't care how cold you get. We can work something out. Come on, Canadians. Just I need sponsor. Employment, right? I mean, I don't know how much it costs, but I can't work it out. Just somebody put it up front, and then I mean, I know there's certain manual labor and specialties that you guys need, and like I understand your sort of immigration situation a little better now. And you don't have to pay for my education. I already do that. And yeah, I mean, I'll be happy to help you guys get the cup back on Canadian soil. I'm already a trader, other sports, baseball, right? Might as well. Yeah. I would like to be around friends a little more often. Is also what I'm saying. All right, take care, everybody. I'm time limited. I gotta go. I gotta be somewhere. Yeah. All right. Happy game day for whoever is playing international hockey. And as soon as our Jets take a look at that video, just turn around and start. Okay, we're gonna take on the Wild. What do we know about the Wild? All right. Thank you. See you later. Bye.